Truth or Square? Yes, here it is, the big one. The episode that pissed off so many people for its misleading promos, lack of humor, and just boring segments. Also, Patchy the Pirate makes up for about half of this 45-minute episode. This episode had so much potential, and it was warned by a lot of people to have been the series finale, which would have been pretty great if the episode actually was. But 2010 through 2014 just proved to have been even worse episodes than the previous years. Here it is. You wanted it. You deserve it. Truth or Square. Also, at the end of the video, I'll list off all the false claims they said that this episode would have, and I will note all Patchy the Pirate segments at the end of this video too, but I will start with the first one. Here goes. The episode starts with Patchy the Pirate hosting a Spongebob extravaganza. He called in a bunch of celebrities to be with the show, and most of them declined. So we get to Spongebob waking up with a numerous set of alarm clocks surrounding his room. He notes that this is the 117th anniversary of the Krusty Krab. What does that even mean? 11 plus 7 equals 18 years? 117 years? I don't know, but this gag was vague and pointless. SpongeBob goes to the Krusty Krab and sees a long line. He jumps over the line so he won't be late for work. Meanwhile, we get to Plankton complaining to his oh-so-supportive wife Karen about he has failed in the last 50 years of business. So after that little scene, we have Pink, the musician, and I use that term loosely, singing a song called We Got Scurvy, for no reason but just filler. Musical filler. The worst type of filler. We get back to SpongeBob decorating the Krusty Krab filler style, and SpongeBob follows Mr. Krabs' orders of not spending any money on decorations, so he uses resources from the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob says he is now getting the ice sculpture of a Krabby Patty in the freezer. So Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob all try to move the sculpture, but SpongeBob slips and flies out of the freezer door and boomerangs right back into the freezer, shutting the freezer door and locking all of them in effectively. Yeah, you don't get any more force than that. So they try to get out, but then they realize they can go through the air ducts and try to escape through there. SpongeBob oddly remembers the first time he ate a Krabby Patty. Let me just mention that all of these flashbacks are glorified filler. So, back to reality. I spoke too soon. Mr. Krabs finds a Krabby Patty wrapper. In the air ducts? Who has been eating Krabby Patties in your vents? Weird. So we get to another flashback that was from Mr. Krabs remembering old Krusty Krab commercials. After that flashback, SpongeBob and the gang go to another room, and they see many cameras that link to all of their homes, including Sandy's. Yeah, it's nice to know that Mr. Krabs is still a sick proverbial fuck. Mr. Krabs comes up with some lame excuse, and of course SpongeBob buys it and the rest of the gang forgets about it. Even though there were 2 men recording them right there who escaped through an air duct. The inconsistency of this episode is insane. So we get to Plankton trying to steal the formula, for like the billionth time. Again. Gee, I wonder where this is going. Plankton coincidentally goes into the same air duct as SpongeBob and the gang. Plankton is found out by SpongeBob, and SpongeBob has a flashback when Mr. Krabs told him about the Krabby Patty formula. They use an insane amount of filler in this flashback. SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs almost seemingly never stop walking into different places so nobody can hear what they say. Then he gets interrupted by Plankton, who wants to write the whole thing down. But Mr. Krabs finds out in a flashback that Plankton is trying to steal the formula and throws him down an air duct. How does that exactly make sense? Mr. Krabs was right there with SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. Why did they need a flashback for Mr. Krabs when he was right there? Great special, by the way. It's only fitting that you call this a special, because I can find a group of people who would watch this crap, no questions asked. And the group of people is pretty special. Yep, the cast of Teen Mom. So Mr. Krabs' wallet is going crazy, and it manages to leap out of a very small hole. But when it lands outside, a man takes the wallet and leaves. This leaves Mr. Krabs even more distraught. So they find a radio transmitter, and Patrick is trying to call somebody else other than Sandy, and Squidward takes it and calls Sandy for help. And Sandy thinks that Squidward stole her transmitter. Then Patrick idiotically thinks that Sandy is trapped inside the transmitter and destroys it completely. Yeah, talk about cruel fate. It never just lights up on Squidward, right? Then SpongeBob remembers the time him and Sandy got married. But guess what? It was just a play. Awesome advertisements, am I right? This was probably the biggest lie in the whole episode. I'm definitely going to mention this when I'm done. So, SpongeBob comes up with the idea that all four of them can use themselves as a battering ram. The plan works after a few tries, and they see that the customers have left. So, here's the perfect time for singing, right? That's right. We have a rip-off song from the Oh Christmas Tree that has now transitioned to Oh Krusty Krab. They managed to kill about 3 minutes with the song. During the song, all customers come back in a circle. Aw, nice to know that after destroying, stealing, looting, and going crazy, they can be calm and sing such a nice song. The town is bipolar, I tell ya. So in the end, everybody is happy except Plankton, who begs Krabs not to launch him. Instead, he blows up Plankton like a balloon and he flies away. The episode ends with SpongeBob wishing the Krusty Krab a happy 117th anniversary. Don't you just love happy endings? The only problem is this was the biggest lie of an episode in all of SpongeBob's history. Here's the thing that we never actually got to see happen or find out in the process, all the things that they said that would happen. No Krabby Patty formula is revealed. SpongeBob and Sandy don't get married. We never found out Plankton's plan. This whole episode or special was just a ratings trap by the creators of this piece of garbage. I was 9 years old when I first watched this episode with my family, and this was the first episode of SpongeBob that I actually hated. When I was that young, I never really had a desire to hate anything from SpongeBob. It was literally my favorite cartoon. But it was the first episode I actually hated. And I've seen the Splinter, Boating Buddies, etc. when I was like 8 years old, but I was too young to understand why they were bad. This so-called special was a slap in the face, and I was angry when I was done watching this for the first time. I'm lucky I can remember a lot of the things from the past. Anyway, let's get to the Patchy the Pirate segments that ate up half of this episode. The opening Patchy segment with the celebrities, which last about 5 to 10 minutes. Patchy runs off in pink scenes that last about 3 minutes. Patchy is almost at the Bikini Bottom, but he gets eaten by a whale at about 3 minutes. Patchy, while inside the whale, plays unused theme songs from other characters for the show. This lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. All moments add up to be about 21 minutes. I didn't really laugh at any of these even when I was 9. I did find the numerous theme songs to be sort of interesting, but Patchy managed to make this still unfunny. So, yeah. There you have it. Truth or square. I guess I've pretty much done this. I've kind of just slayed the beast itself, but I gotta be honest with you here. Even if this was a pretty bad episode, I still kind of miss to have like specials like this, you know? I miss when SpongeBob would have like a 5-day new episode marathon. You know? I mean, you just don't really see that anymore on SpongeBob. Anyway, thanks for watching.